Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here. This is going to be a kind of really hardcore show to the max. All right, if you don't want the truth, might as well just turn the show off right now. Want to find out a little more about truth and what it really is, where it comes from, and why, and all those kind of things. Stick around. I'm going to go into every topic that relates to truth, which means life. All right. I don't know where you stand, what you believe, what you know, what you accept, what you want to accept. But this will probably go against a lot of the things you believe, want to believe, try to accept, and follow. So I don't know how many topics I'm going to be able to get into, but I'm going to try to get through them all today. So it's going to be spiritualism, religion, healers, government, ghosts, spirits, demons, Bigfoot entities, lies, and everything else in between that. All right. I'm going to start with the main one. Is called religion. If you don't know this, the first religion on the planet was Hinduism. And let me get that music off completely. Sorry. All right. Okay, the main thing is they followed deities, which was a history. But do you know anything about the religion itself? What Hinduism was all about? Well, to make it real simple, 90% of all of Hinduism was about sex. Check it out. Find it. The facts are there. The truth is there. Find out who Shiva was, what he did. Find out what they worshipped, what came down because of that, and everything else. Deities are real people. I don't care what people do. Even people in Hinduism, people in Buddhism, and every other word that you want to put to that, talk about deities. But their alternative thing is like it's your higher consciousness, and it's just like people that say we're universal energy and all that. But when they talk about deities, they're real entities, just as you are. You're not a dream. You're not a fantasy. You're not a consciousness that's world universal. We're separate. Every single soul on this planet is separate from every other single one in the universe. Like they say, no two snowflakes can be exactly the same. Well, neither can soul. Well, I want you to think about that as we go through religion. Christianity, basically the Catholics and the Protestants have always been fighting. All right. And when we talk about, I'm trying to keep things together, even though I go a lot of different ways. When you put religion, okay, the time frames of it, when Christianity was fighting all the time, the Catholics, Protestants, I go back to when Jesus was here and before that. All right, who was in power, who was leading what and why, and what all the wars on this planet are really basically based on a religion and their ideas of it, even though they're not right. All right, we could start with the Catholic religion, people. Christianity has 2.5 billion people on the planet, so that's a lot of people that follow it. Now, this is where the challenge, and I debate. I mean, okay, and I always say, do you have balls to debate me? I know you don't. But here's the thing. Christianity, all right, is how old? Who dates it? Where did dates come from? How can you prove that? All right, what did they believe then? And how did it change? And everything else along the way. Why would the people, when Jesus was alive, want to kill him? Think about all that. It's all lies, everything you're programmed to believe about it. History and Bible, books, and everything else are partially true. Very little truth are in it. All right. I'll get into the pyramids and all that other stuff in between that. But okay, when Christianity was created, who created it? We can talk about when Moses came out, who was his father, and all that kind of stuff. Adam and Eve was a fake story. All that. Even the Pope came out and said Adam and Eve was a fake story. And people still believe it. But it's a story based on partial ideas and truth. Aliens were in control of the planet at that time frame. All right. The place of Adam and Eve was called Atlantis, and it was destroyed. All right. To believe that we all came from one person, I guess their children had sex with each other, the parents had sex with their children, everybody just had sex. World. Another lie. Let's start at the beginning. 9 races were brought to this planet. All right, before I go into all the things I'm going to talk to you about. Do you believe in reincarnation? Probably not. Do you believe in past lives? Probably not. But they're real, people, and there's ways to prove them. But the idea is not to prove it to the world, because the world will never accept one idea. But you do need to prove the truth to yourself. Who you are, what you are, why you're here, where you're going, all those things. You need to prove it to yourself. Nobody's going to give you the truth about it. Only you can find it. I could give you ways to find it and work to get at it and things, but I'm not going to give you your truth. Because your truth is based on you. What you do, what you did, and it's called karma. Buddha was right about one word, karma. Every soul that lives on this planet deals with it. Nobody is exempt from it. Nobody can take somebody else's karma away. I'll get into healers, which is another story of people making money. But let's keep with Christianity first. Okay, Christianity. All right, what was it before Jesus came here? All right, women were never respected any time in history before that. Never. Even the few people that actually got into the Bible or into writings and stuff like Joan of Arc, they killed her at 20 years old. You know, truth is always a fear to most people that don't want it. And who controls that fear factor? The other word that most people don't believe in, don't accept, even though they might believe in angels, Satan. He has an army. They dwell down here, not Lucifer. People are delusional. All right, when they talk, well, Lucifer, the Luciferians, and they're not following Lucifer. Lucifer's a fallen angel, just like all the other angels are, the ones that fell. All right, but he was the most brightest light out of them all. He's not here making people kill each other and all those kind of things. That's your programming. From who? Think about it. A baby, leave 2 babies together. What are they going to do as they grow up? Die. They don't have food, don't have any. You're fed and clothed and all those words, but you're also programmed with every thought you get in your brain. Children can see spirits and entities and all those words. And when they open their mouth about it, the mother's ready to take it away from them. And that's how it starts with all children. Well, my child's delusional, having dreams, having this and experience bad things, but it's all real. Possession, another word that goes with that, is not accepted in most paths. The Pope himself, 5-6 years ago, hired 1,500 so-called exorcists to do that work because they can't. Now, if you watch TV, which you probably don't, there's a movie you could rent, you probably won't. But Rosemary's Baby, I don't know if you know about that movie. The Exorcist, I don't know if you ever watched it, saw it. Well, you should. It's a real story, people. It wasn't a girl, it was a boy. So, movie world makes things a little bit more interesting, exciting, or whatever, and cover up a lot of the truth as well. A few people, like Steven Spielberg, put movies together based on all the truth he knew, which was little, very little. Now, another show, X-Files. That all their shows are based on actual facts in the police department. Every one of them. Including Bigfoot, including aliens, all that. All those parts of stories that were actually in police departments. But the movie, the first movie of X-File, you need to watch it. There's more truth in that movie of facts that actually go on, and that's part of what's really going on about the UFO world and aliens. Really, I'm not making that up. All right, getting back to religions. Women were always slaves, abused, all through history, people. They were given more freedom after Jesus came because the word love came out of it, but Jesus wasn't teaching love either. How do you teach love, people? Think about it. Go outside. Teach a bird love. Teach a cat love. Teach a dog love. A dog has love within itself. Take some homeless person. Teach them love. All they want to know is you're going to feed them and clean them and all that. That's love to them. What is love to you? Do you even have a clue? I think out of 8 billion people, you're lucky if you can find 100 people that truly know the definition of love. Well, I love my partner. She loves me, blah, 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 blah. What's love mean? Oh, I love my husband and my wife. We got married and I'm leaving them now because I like somebody else. That's not love in any level. Love is forever. I mean, people are right about that word. But it's not love of a tree forever, love of the ocean forever, love of a dog forever. You reincarnate hundreds of times, people, not 2 or 3 times. And as you come back, you forget everything you've learned in the lifetime before it, which is even sad because I know all my lifetimes, all the way back to Atlantis and one lifetime before that. And you need to know that. You're not going to get anywhere higher than this lower realm until you learn that, because you have to pay all your karma, the karma you created in all those lifetimes. But here's something people do not think about. If you reincarnate from a past life, who were you? What were you in that lifetime? Were you married? Did you have children? Do you care? Because most people die now want to be with their people that died now. What about all the families you had in all these lifetimes? And then they throw the word immortal. You are, soul is. But it doesn't mean a thing unless you're aware of all the things you did. Not what they program you to do or tell you to do now, what you already did. Science is bringing us further and further away from God. Religions have no God. And we'll get into that right now. All right. Now, the difference between Catholics and Protestants is pretty simple. The Protestants took Jesus off the cross. The Catholics keep him on the cross. All right. And they wear crosses with Jesus on it and things like that. You know, they don't even know what the Ten Commandments stand for or mean. Read it. I'm not going to go into that. Read the Ten Commandments. Read what it says. All right. If you can't follow them, you can't follow any laws. There's nothing in the Ten Commandments that are bad for society or people. Oh, we outgrew them. You outgrew the spiritual laws? No. You didn't outgrow the physical laws. The Ten Commandments were laws for how to live in the physical world, not how to live in the higher worlds. Love isn't even mentioned in the Ten Commandments for a reason. It didn't exist. All right. So when Catholics keep Jesus on a cross, they put a statue and something on their desk. And what's one of the Ten Commandments? Read it. Nothing above or below should be put in reality, meaning you can't have statues of things below the ocean or above the sky. But again, people don't listen to what their own religions say. It's not the religions that's bad, people. Well, that religion's this and that. No, it's the people that take the laws of what they have and change it to fit their ego. Ego runs the world, people. I deal with most of them. Trump, Musk, Gates, Gore, all those people. What they did, what they created, what they did to the world, what they're doing to the world. All right. People with money are evil. No matter who you are. I don't care who you are. Read what Jesus said in the Bible. I don't care if you don't believe in the Bible. What he said is 100% true. When he said it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. He said it 3 times in the Bible. Why would he say that? Now, the teachings that Jesus gave is not in the Bible. I put a book out on that. But what Jesus was teaching, oh, love each other. Okay, we all believe we're supposed to do that. Forgiveness. Oh, we forgive each other. You don't get forgiven for creating karma. It's not real, people. I mean, getting forgiveness for it. Read Revelations if you're a Christian. John talks about the sin and how it can't be forgiven. Not like come back next Friday and I'll forgive you, say 10,000 Hail Marys and you're okay. All right, we'll talk about Mary as well. But okay, here's the thing, people. You are programmed from when you're little when it's a religion. I mean, sometimes you walk into a religion when you're older because you're going through hard times and people pretend they love you and say, hey, we'll help you and all that. It's always about help, not about maintaining who you are. And then we got all these new age people. We'll teach you how to become the best you are. And I'm only a 6-dimensional being. All that stories. It's all lies, people. You do not change. Your energy is not changing. You can believe it is. And I'll give you a simple technique right now on what you need to do. You stare into a person's eyes. Relax everything around you. Look into their eyes. You can see what a soul looks like, what it radiates. Most people won't let you stare into their eyes for that reason. The native people won't. Couldn't even take pictures of native people. They think you're stealing their soul. But okay, when you see a person's aura, whatever color it is who they are. They cannot change that. All right? You can't change your aura because you want to. It's who and what you vibrate at. Your six-dimensional being, you will be vibrating at a super bright white or blue light which radiates a large distance away from your body. And in my whole lifetime, I only met 2 beings that actually were able to do that. Not the Pope, the Dalai Lama, and all these. I have a picture of myself. I put it up next time I do my show. But mine was big, and the person that did auras and take pictures of auras wanted me to travel with her. She goes, I need you. She wanted me to speak Spanish. I said, no, I'll never learn Spanish, and I don't want to travel. But your aura determines who you are. And we'll get into the ideas of energy after I get through the religions and a couple other things. I'm going to follow through with everything today. I mean, I'm alone. I can scream, yell, do whatever I want. And I will. Because you know your mind's sitting there going, what? Maybe you'll wake up. Why do you think in music, when you listen to the opera, da, 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 it's to wake you up because you're already going to sleep. People, the truth's out there. Do you want to listen or not? All right. I'm going to give you things that you don't want to hear. But they're the truth. As far as I know it, prove, and live by, I give myself to God only. I swear on God as God itself. All right. To be destroyed if I'm lying. Taken out every which way if I'm lying to you people. How many people are going to say that? These people in the UFO world, in the lecturing and everything else, can they stand by God? They don't even know what God is. All right, getting back to Catholic religion. Go on Fridays and get forgiven for your sins. Okay, now the Pope hired people to do exorcisms because people get possessed. Most people don't know they are. All right. It's just that the negativities around them becomes part of them, and they're doing these things not knowing why. Drugs open you up to it. Smoking opens you up to karma, allowing negative energy to come into you. Why did they legalize drinking and not marijuana? Drinking is the worst drug on the planet. It kills more people than anything else because people can't deal with life. People do drugs because they can't deal with life. Well, I need to get away. Get away from what? Who you are? No matter what you do, when you open your eyes and wake up, you're going to still be you. You're not going to be an angel. You're not going to be a demon. You're not going to be anything else. You're going to be you, who you really are right now. You don't change. You tell yourself, you program yourself, you believe you do. We'll get into aliens. Oh, man, every time I do a show, my window's open. I guess I'm allergic to the grass cutting. But everything we do, all right, is based on programming. Children, I'm going to start with children again. If they're not forced into a religion, are open to spirit, angels, and things like that, as well as demons. The word protection, you can't say I'm protected and not know how or why it's created or why it's there. I'm protected from everything except maybe the government. But outside of that, demons, entities, ghosts, spirits, aliens, Bigfoot, all of them. Now, I don't want to stay with that. I'm going to keep with this religion first. All right. Now, why were they fighting with the Protestants? What was the big deal? What was the separation? All right. Study the religions. See why they fought. Why they're still fighting. Why religions are still fighting. All right. Let's bring Muslims into the picture. And the Hasidic Jewish religion into the picture. All right. They're pretty strict about everything. Moses created, 63 laws after the 10 Commandments. No person on this planet could live by them. All right, just so you know. And he couldn't live by his own laws. I call him the most evil black magician to live on this planet. There's black magician and white magician. White magicians don't kill people or allow people to get killed. Big difference. Black magicians do. I was a high priest at 16. I challenged everybody in New Jersey, the high priest of the mob, and all these people claiming to be this, that, and the other thing. Not one of them could touch me because I'm protected. And the only protection you truly have is understanding and knowing what? How to protect yourself? How do you get that? God. What is God? We'll go into that a little deeper. But the Protestants, they separated, all right? And they didn't want the confession deals and all these little rules, fasting on Friday, like that does something for somebody. In their mind, it does. But people are supposed to be loving, and that's what they preach in almost every religion. Who do they love? Their ego. They don't love other people. If everybody loved everybody, there would be no war, there'd be no famine, no starving, no homeless children. And that's all we have. Do you care? Oh, I'm a Protestant, I'm a Catholic, I'm this, that. And what do you do for the world? What do you do for God? Nothing. Except unconditional love around the world. Yeah, who does it really help? Did you help the starving children in Africa? These people getting killed by bombs right now? Are you helping any of those people? Even if you send them $1 million, is it going to help the country? We got evil beings on this planet, or possessed people. The ego gets open and evilness steps inside it. And they don't care about life. Musk himself, I write him 10 letters a day. Why? Oh, I'm going to save the planet. Really? He sent a rocket up, contaminating the ozone, destroying it. Well, I love children. Who do you love? Your child. Then he has to ask, do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in God? He doesn't have a clue of anything. Plus, he lies a lot. He lied to me twice about money. I didn't get 2 cents, even though he's going to give me $1 million, blah, blah, blah. People with money are evil. They hoard their money. People with billions of dollars in the bank could change reality. But they want to have it in their bank. For what reason? They're going to die. They're not going to live up longer than 125 years, even though they're trying. They're afraid to die. They can't take their money with them. I guess that's why they're afraid. I'll go nowhere, go somewhere with no money. But they don't know nothing about soul. Soul is the most important word on this planet because we all are that. We're all a part of God, realized or unrealized. When you're unrealized, you live in hell. Planet Earth is hell. You don't go to hell when you're bad. You reincarnate back here. Now, Dante's Inferno talked about the levels of hell. This is it. Being able to be burnt, frozen, chopped up, killing, murder, things like that. That's hell. Call it whatever you want, but you can't call it anything else. You can't call it heaven. Those things do not exist in the higher realms of God. Jesus was teaching about that, but nobody understood him. When they were fishermen, farmers, shoemakers, horseshoe makers, whatever. Their vocabulary was limited. They did not know the word G-O-D. They didn't. Deities weren't gods. But now we call them gods. But they weren't ever gods. Never claimed to be. Then you got people that destroy reality that put out a book like Zechariah Sitchin, bringing up the story of the Enochs and all that. What's the other words? But again, the beings of that kind of lifetime created us. They did not. We all came from another world, people. The white race, the black race, the yellow race, the green race, the blue race, the crystal race, the purple race, all dwelled somewhere. One being that they mention his name, it's in history, who is real, but they make him into a story. They make everything into a story. The native people do it, all tribal people do it, all religions do it. They don't like the truth and they make it into a story that fits their ego. Thought the Atlantean was a real being. He was allowed by the Council of Nine, which is on the Esther plane, that said you could take the races and bring them down to this planet. And they were. We had 9 races here. Human perception. Maybe the color of skin and everything else was a little different, but we all had the same basic qualities. And then alien races are not that same race. And 2 alien races didn't like that at all, so they had to destroy Atlantis. Then what they did the Anunnaki and a couple other races, reprogrammed man to become killers, rapists, murderers, sacrifice people, eat animals. All those things were taught to us after Atlantis was destroyed. Atlantis was the only time planet Earth was in a beautiful place. We can talk about dinosaurs, that's before that, and all these other times. The cavemen were not humans. Never were, never will be. We didn't come from them, people. God like creates things and watches it. What do you think a roach is here for? It's the most indestructible creature on this planet, and it's the oldest creature on the planet, and will be here when everybody else dies. Why? People don't want to know things about things. Well, everything's important, the walruses, seals, and lions, and tigers. No, they're not. And when they disappear, they're not needed here anymore. Why different races were taken out? Not by God. Alien races who think they are. They play the aspect of what we believe that God is. All right. Religions. Hinduism had how many deities? I think it's roughly at least 120. And they're real, because I actually work with 3 different deities. Not on planet Earth, not about how to get a job, how to be a better. They can't teach that. They're dimensional beings. They don't need to deal with low-life people. Sorry, we're low-life. We don't respect each other. We lie to each other. We hurt each other. Do we do anything possible? We haven't created a spiritual thing ever. The Bible's not spiritual, even though we say, oh, the most spiritual book on the planet. No, it's not. It doesn't even tell you what Jesus was actually teaching. The Quran. Really? Muhammad went out there, had a vision, met with Gabriel. Read what Gabriel taught him. I was studying to see how much truth is in there. Very little, like every other religion. But Gabriel's talking to Muhammad, repeats things, and then he contradicts what he said. Angels don't have to do that. Why would they do that? So when Muhammad came back, his brother told him, you know who you're working with? Gabriel. How would his brother know? You know, there's like 3 angels that are talking about: Gabriel, Michael. All right. There's a few others, but mostly Gabriel or Michael. And there's 9 angels mentioned in the old Bible, not the new Bible. One of the angels is called Metatron. I think, not sure, I didn't work with it ever, but I think it's the angel of the future. There's all the other 9 angels, their names actually rhyme with each other. All right, I'm not going to say them all, but pull them up. You can find them. Like I said, they're not talked about in the Bible. And in Revelations, when John's writing in there, he says multiple hundreds of angels. So it's not like you're going to get Gabriel. Everybody's going to get Gabriel. Gabriel has to work with 8 billion people. We all have angels, people, whether you want to know that or not. We also have demons around us as well. The more powerful you become in the inner world, not here, the more entities try to come near you. Just like putting a light on and all the moths fly into it. Why? Because they go to the light, period. Everything goes to the light. I had a medicine man tell me if you go into the light, you're taken over. Read Barbara Marciniak's book, Bringers of the Dawn. She's completely out of it now, but that book, when she wrote it, was incredible for what was really happening. There's writers out there. Fred Bell, Sean David Morton, put the most important books out there in the UFO world about the truth, about everything. And we got all these people coming out writing more and more books. Well, this is that. It's all bull. Aliens want to come here, they will and do. Do they want to make themselves public? They will when they want to. Period. Skinwalker Ranch. I've been on that site for a year trying to talk to those people. Not one of them got back to me yet. And then there's this big chat room. I get 100 emails a day from other people. And they say, well, they say they read it. So they read it. If they can't talk to me, they're not going to get what I need to tell them. All right? And that's called truth. What aliens are, why they're here, what they're doing. And they are here. And they are real. And they're dangerous. Then you got people coming out of the woodwork who came out same time I saw the lecture with Sergeant 18 in around 1996. Stephen Greer claims he created this and that, and he's trying to bring workshops together, make people talk aliens, the danger, and he's blaming the government for attacking aliens and stuff. He has no clue. He never met a real alien. Even now, his news story, well, I met an alien. He didn't say that for how many years? From 96 on, he never mentioned that. All of a sudden, no. Everybody that's in the UFO world that tells stories make it better every time they tell it every year. And I know that for a fact. I lectured for 6 years. I know almost every important person in the UFO world, but they're all dead. Why? Nobody wants the truth out. I was friends with one of the people involved with that too, MJ12. He's dead as well. People I think are afraid of me because they're afraid they're going to die. Well, they should, might, have to, or will. My ex-partner that I did all my UFO stuff with, I say he sold out. He says no. But he suddenly had tons of money, gave up talking about UFOs, and now he's talking about being a disciple of Jesus. I challenged him many times. I did an exorcism on him. He wouldn't even admit that. I can go on and on and on about the truth. I sat down at a table, him and I, with men in black. 4 of them. The one that sat next to me told me, look, we're watching, filming, and listening to everything you say and do. I looked in his eye. He had a steel eye. And they were going to offer Sarge Yell millions of dollars for his work. And then that night, they were all going to stay at the hotel overnight, which I didn't do. Sarge Yell did. I didn't. All right. But before he left, the one that I was sitting next to him, he goes, you know about this, that, spiritualism and stuff. Could you tell me a couple things? He gave me a video, what they do. This is in 1997. He gave me a video. At that time, it was a $3,000 or $4,000 van with electronic equipment in it. He could monitor any computer that went on within a quarter of a mile. And this is in 97. All right. And he gave me a movie, and he showed me the van. He showed me. You know, the week after I met him, they arrested 450 people for child porn. The government did. You know, they're not all bad, but they do have an alternative, is protect the rich. The underground cities, which nobody talks about, are here for the rich people and the government. Not for you and me. They're real. They're all over the United States. Jesse Ventura, who was going to run with Kennedy, but Kennedy decided not to, I guess. But nobody knows much about Jesse Ventura because they didn't watch his TV series. Oh, he was a boxer. Oh, a wrestler. He was the governor. But he was a perfect person that exposed the truth. He exposed FEMA camps. He exposed underground cities. He exposed the HARP system. He did for 2 years. His show was on for 2 years. The second show, they took him off the air. They said that's enough with his truth getting out. Just as the friend of mine that was in MJ12 was allowed to put all the projects out. He mentioned them all, put all the information out there. One person. But it was coming directly allowed to MJ12. But he went too far. So what did they do? They killed his family. And then they killed him. He was supposed to give me something right before he was killed. I'm not going to go into that in detail, but I say if you watch X-Files, you'll kind of get a clue of what it was. But again, people, the truth's there, and very few people have it or want it. They want to make money. I got 5 books out. I just put my new book out for women only to help women protect themselves and find out who and what they are and what they should be doing, not what they should not be doing. All right? It just came out this week. But I have the book before that is The True Teachings of Jesus. People don't want to hear the truth. Oh, no, the Christianity, my Bible says this. The Bible says what? Who wrote it? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You know, they're not only 2 of them were disciples. 2 of them were evangelists. And the Mary Magdalene was one of Jesus' disciples, whether you want to know that or not. Why? That's how they understood what love was. She had a daughter, Jesus' daughter. Don't hear that anywhere in the Bible. When, I'm not going to say the movie came out, but it's kind of exposed that, went into that in the detail idea. It's real. I was alive with Jesus. I was a female in that lifetime. I'll debate anybody on this planet about that. What Jesus said, what he did, what Mary Magdalene was. For 100 years, I mean, they were writing how evil she was. She was a prostitute and all these words and all that. She was never none of that. She was a high priestess. She had a temple she lived in. I was a female. I got to be with her the last month of Jesus' life. He was killed by half of his own people. Why? They didn't understand a single word he was saying. Oh, well, he repeated that. But he did that to the simple-minded people. What do you think he taught his disciples? How do you teach disciples what? What do you teach them? There's 32 psychic abilities that a person that goes to ascension learns. All right. I learned a lot of them. I also learned you cannot use them in the physical reality now. It'll destroy our reality, which they're doing. These psychics that claim they have abilities, like even in the UFO world, Caroline Corey. Oh, I can levitate a piece of paper. I can change people's DNA. DNA is not anything. It's not soul. It's energy of this planet, this reality. We can play with our vibration of this planet. We can't play with the vibration of the astral plane, even though it's merging with us right now. I'll get into that later if I have time. Like I said, I'm going to go through this as long as I have to today. I know people are going to come and go because they don't want the truth. They're afraid of it. They'd rather listen to some bull story of some idiot telling, "Oh, I'm super being." And Bashar, what is he? Who is he? Claiming he's a channels his being. And JJ Knight, do you know who she was? She did that. They proved her a fake. Why afterwards? She had some energy in the beginning, so I'm making everybody give her money. But she's really famous again. People forget the truth of what happened even. Because bull sounds good now. If it sounds good, I'll follow it. If it doesn't, I won't. The spiritual path is the only path that you should be worried about, but it's the most hardest path to follow. Because it goes against. Where are you? Why are you here? All those kind of things. We'll get into that. All right. Getting back to the Protestants and Catholics. Two religions. 2.5 billion people follow them. And where are they today? Who's doing anything important for reality? Muslim religion. What are they doing for reality? Fighting? Really? That's the way we're going to move forward? And I'm not going to talk about sexual abuse and child abuse and all those, even Hasidic Jewish religion, what they do to women. Women are persecuted in every religion. Something you should realize. Women, why are you following a religion that persecute women? The Hasidic Jewish women, they deny everything, but it's real what they do to a woman before they can get married. A man doesn't, just the woman. The Muslims and what they do with their children and things like that. It's all real, and it's part of their religion, and it's okay. Really? Now, the Chinese are more Buddhist than anything else, but for the longest time, they were allowing them to kill their own children. They didn't want no more girls. But now that they're building armies everywhere, multiple giant cities out in the ocean for war, people don't, China's, no, they're not going to be our friends. They're going to take over the planet. At least they're going to try to. And there's very few people around that can stop it. All right. Musk is not going to do anything about it. Now, Putin actually came out with a lot of important stuff that he told Trump. Trump didn't even listen to him. Putin told Trump to do something really important and didn't do it. He told Trump to expose and explain what really happened at 9/11. Nobody knows. Not many people know anyway. He also talked about alien races. And he told Trump to tell the world what we're doing with aliens. But he did say this, people. There's 2 alien races that are trying to destroy the planet. Why would he say that? Because the United States and Russia are fighting with aliens right now. The UFO world doesn't talk about it because they're ignorant. They rather talk about the government being evil. Well, they don't tell us it. They don't tell us it. They're going to tell you they have no control over that? I was born in 1952, the year that a fleet of army UFOs went over the White House 2 different days. Couldn't do a thing about it, could they? I got a tape. I can show you. Let me just see if it's right here. Okay. Just so you know. Okay. You can read that. My friend was in the airport and filmed this. He was a filmmaker and everything else. When they recorded that, what happened when the UFOs were over the army base for an hour, and then finally they gave the order for two missiles to get two ships, two rockets to get there. They just shot out into space and never heard another word about it. But people want to talk about stupid stories. Talk about real stories, people. Now, the biggest story in the UFO world was Roswell. No, it wasn't. You don't even know 1/10 of the truth about Roswell, even with all the so-called witnesses. I'll tell you the name of a person: Robert Morning Star. Sorry, I got to mention Star and Skies. I don't know which one's which, but he's a native person. He lectured a lot. All right. He exposed a lot of things. I'm not going to go into all that, but they tried killing him multiple times. Finally, they took him and reprogrammed him. His books are out there, but it's not really that much important. He talked about Planet X way, way before anybody even knew what it was. But people are taken out. 16 of my good friends are gone, taken out. I'm talking important people. I mean, people that told me they're going to kill me and then they were killed. I don't know if you know there was two different SETIs, a government one and a private one. I can go on and on about these stories that are real. But, government, I don't know how much they allow a one out anymore or are allowing out. Stephen Greer, they let him talk. I don't know why. I didn't figure that out. And he looks like an alien anyway. But he claims he was with an alien recently. He didn't when he first came out. Same as David Wilcock claimed he was God when he first came out. When they realize they don't get nowhere, they rearrange the words they use. I don't change anything I say. All right. I'm 100% honest to the truth that I know and feel and experienced as well. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I was next to a Bigfoot. I mean, a foot away from a Bigfoot. Was it a bad? All right, people. Let me see if I want to just change religions. Kind of like exorcisms are important for people that are possessed. I have a friend who does exorcisms in the United States and around the world, over the phone even. We don't agree on aliens, but he's definitely one of the top exorcists here. And he explains most people are really not possessed. It's ego gone crazy. But again, he works with people that are. So if you need that kind of help, get in touch with me. All right? He's a great person. I bring him on my show twice. He was supposed to get together again sometime soon. But that's one little thing. How do you know your child's possessed? I had it in my family happening to different people. My friend that I worked with was being possessed, and I had to do an exorcism on him. And he wouldn't even admit it to himself anymore. But when people almost die because this energy is draining them and draining their life, and they don't even realize it, they need help. The government's not going to help them. And as far as Stephen Greer with disclosure, that happened in the 40s. Disclosure. The whole world, 8 billion people, aren't become aware of aliens ever. I mean, if that's what they think disclosure means. PJ, I do a show with. Listen to that show. It's more on the spiritual side now. We did talk about UFOs and stuff for many years. But her husband worked for the government. Highest clearance, is now dead. I can go on about where the truth comes from, who has it, who's using it. Fred Bell was a really important person in the UFO world. All right. He worked with Billy Meyer's alien friends, even though Billy Meyer screwed up his own thing by himself. So, do you want the truth? And they're going to put Tic Tacs out there like that's important? They're not. And they're not phenomena. They're taking the word from UFOs to take the focus off of UFOs. Most of light, it could be anything, it could be this, that, and that, and they'll say that's what it is. I filmed more ships with Sargel than anybody else on the planet from 96 to 2002. And we put those pictures up on Kerry Cassidy's show, which we did for 9 months, people. We're not fake. But I don't know what he's at right now, claiming all the things he's claiming. Claims he has powers, God has a new mission for him and all that. But, we can dream all we want. Pretend we're important. Nobody's important in this reality. Nobody's spiritual in hell, or you would not be here. All these people, I'm a sixth-dimensional being. We'll teach you how to become that. Only $4,000, whatever. Money is all people care about. Multimillionaires, billionaires have tons of money. And they're still worrying about getting more money. Why do they spend most of it? They're going to die a lot sooner than later because it possessed and warped their consciousness and their mind. All right. So I want to go into a different subject here. I want to talk about healers first. I know it's getting late. I know people are going to come and go because time's long and it's going to be a long show. But when we talk about healers, there's no psychic healer on this planet, people. They're brainwashing people. They get one person say, oh yeah, they healed me. That energy goes into other people and they accept the idea and they want to believe. And even in the Christian church, when a preacher comes out, okay, you're healed. Oh, wow, I'm healed. They're healed for a while. The mind programs the consciousness, the idea, the brain. For a while, karma doesn't disappear because somebody said, okay, it's gone. In the name of Jesus. He doesn't know who Jesus was. Jesus never took credit for anything. He was saying your own belief, your own truth. You healed yourself. He didn't say, I healed you, I healed you, I healed you, I did this. He didn't have ego. Like every other speaker out there in the UFO world, speakers, these religious speakers, spiritualist speakers, energy workshops. I write a letter to Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle every day. They're programming consciousness of the humans to be pathetically involved with the physical reality, all right, which is horrible. Oprah brought them out and made them billionaires. Eckhart Tolle, well, he's super rich too, but Deepak Chopra is the richest doctor in the United States right now. And he's got his workshops out every day, every week, every year, all year long. He sounds good. If it sounds good, the old saying, if it sounds good, if it sounds too good to be true, it isn't true. Well, that's a fact. Well, you do this, you're going to be purified. You're going to be more enlightened. Nobody's enlightened on this planet. I don't even say I'm spiritual. I could be. I can leave right now and then retain everything and all that. But I'm just getting this book out there to help women before I leave. Women need help at every level. Dating, whatever they do in life, all that. They should be changing the laws on the books, all that kind of. That's what my new book is about for women, not for men, because it's totally against men. Men are egotistical sex maniacs. Period. In their mind, thought, and actions. All right. So now these psychic healers go to a person, and the person knows that they're a psychic healer, and they can heal me. Maybe they'll heal me. When they go in the door and stand next to that person, they're allowing their energy to flow, all right, to that person. All he does is send it back to him. And then you're healed. But it's the own person's own energy that's healing them, not that person. Nobody's God. Nobody's Jesus on this planet. I mean, there's people that say they are as well, but that's besides the point. All right? No matter what you get from another person, realize it's only temporary. Because karma has to be paid. You can't say, forgive me, Jesus, forgive me, God. Well, you could say it. You could say it as many times as you want. You kill somebody, you're going to be reincarnating, people. Sorry to tell you that. That karma is unrepairable. I'm not talking about self-defense or something like that. I'm talking about killing, murder. When we go to a country and shoot kids walking around on the battlefield, that's killing. Vietnam, we were killing children 14 years old. I don't get into those stories, but you want the truth. And you say you're spiritual. You say you're religious. You say you're this, that, and the other thing. What are you? A clone, a programmed idiot? Fool? Believing all the lies? Now, science claims they know history. Well, that's 10 billion years old. Really? Because a little machine says, oh, it's 10 billion years old? You know, they don't know the exact date Jesus was born. They don't know the date when Buddhist was walking the planet and born. They don't know any of those dates. They don't know nothing about history. They don't know nothing about deities. And they know very little about any alien race. I mean, the government knows more about aliens, what races are here and what they're doing to us. Yeah, they know that. So does Putin. A person from our government working in the UFO world said we're working with 27 alien races. Putin said to Trump, we're working with 27 alien races. So that number is pretty solid between governments. All right. But they're not here for you and me, period. They're war creatures. Everything that we have and play with is a weapon of war. I'm not going to get into that either, but you need to follow the truth. Where are we going? No, we're good. All right. What do you think is going to happen in the next 5-6 years? We're going to be in hell 10 times over. Musk double twists and lies constantly. He came out one week and said, oh, AI is going to eliminate all the small jobs. What's a small job? A sweeper, a person that stocks the shelves, or a Burger King person, or whatever. What's a useless job? All right, let's eliminate all the little jobs so that there's only big jobs left. Then a week later, he comes out, well, we need to be worried about AI. Oh, really? My brother's a scientist, and he said that they can't program a robot to do things that I said, yes, you can. Oh, no, you can't. You can't do it. They can't do it. Well, he's totally wrong. He was wrong about everything I challenged him about. He said, oh, the water can't get contaminated. It says what it is right now. And 2 months later, he gets back. Oh, I got the scientific journal. It says every lake in the United States is contaminated. All have different levels of contamination, but they all are contaminated. All right, people. If you want the truth, tune into my show. I'm going to take you a lot further on the spiritual end of this rather than the facts that are affecting the planet right now. That's why I'm doing the show. Every day I hear more people say stupid, ignorant things. And people gobble it up. Why? All right. Let me see a better topic that I want to get into. Well, I'll say this. The government is real. What they do is good at one level and bad at another. Good for the rich, bad for the poor. That's it. Plain and simple. They're building cities to protect the rich people when we get through what's going to happen in the next couple of years. All right? Do you understand how much money they spend on the space program, which Mr. Trumpo said that he created? He didn't. It was already there. He called it the Space Force. He just gave it a name. Now, you're not going to see this anywhere else. The government spends $720 billion a year, max so far, but that's how much they spend. And they claim we're in what, a $10 trillion deficit? You know, poor people are suffering, and the middle class. They're paying all the taxes, paying all the bills, paying everything. The rich people don't care. They call us slaves in their reality. You think a rich person wants to live next to poor people? You think rich people want to pay for poor people that are sick and dying or diseased or any of that? No, they don't. So when we go through this shift in the next 5 years, be aware. Trump's in the rich section. Trump, Musk, all those people are in the rich section. They don't have to worry. You and I do. I don't. You might. I mean, I want to leave sooner than later. Where I'm going 1,000 times better than here. And if you knew that, you wouldn't want to stay here. But there's things you need to learn about soul. Soul is not male or female. God is not male or female. There's no goddess God, no male God. Doesn't look like us at all. It was wording twisted. We are not in its image. It's not in our image either. Think God's sitting up there like I am sitting in this chair right now? Really? Oh, that person's doing some good. Let's help him. No. God created angels for a reason. They work in the lower worlds. But it allows Satan in the lowest realm, meaning earth, physical reality, to teach us killing, murder, rape, abuse, torture, all those words. Until we can overcome all that, do we ever get to leave it? Hell is a place you want to get out of, not that you might go to. You're already in it. All right? I could burn you up. I could freeze you. I could chop you up in pieces. I could do anything I want to you. That's hell. I don't think you could get any worse than that, could you? So when you say the astral plane, your astral body, when you leave this, when you die, your astral body steps out of this car that you use to drive around in, and it's in its astral body. You can't freeze it, can't kill it, can't destroy it. That's where the eternal word comes out. Now, ghosts and spirits are souls of people, real people, that have no truth, no foundation, and can't get up past the lowest level. They got no angels they would work with. They have nothing that can bring them any further. Yeah, you can work with people like that. I did a couple times. But I crossed somebody, even my father, over, which I didn't even want to do. You know, when you have a higher level of abilities, you're more responsible for every single action you do. I could just destroy and create incredible karma right now. One, by lying to you. Two, by killing somebody. All right? And I'll be back here, which I'm not going to do if I can possibly help it. There's no reason to come back here. Yeah, you're attached to family. You're not going to come back into the family and they're going to know who you are. That's not going to happen either. So your dreams and fantasies, what? Go to heaven and sit in the living room with your family and talk about what? Oh, it's so cool being up here. We don't have to eat. We can float around. What are you going to talk about? Forever? Is that what you want? Then what about all the other families that you came and went through and had and all that? You don't care about them either anymore? You're not spiritual. No matter what you think you are and say you are, you're not. You have no clue about God. You don't work with a real angel. And angels don't help you get a job and fix the car and things. I mean, you can pray to them and say whatever you want. I say, Tony, look around. I lost something. It must be found. And I feel bad. I say, if you're really out there doing all this work, I feel sorry for you. But again, I'm not Catholic, I'm not Protestant. I don't claim to be a religion. I claim to be an aware person. The word I use, I'm crazy going sane. Everybody else is sane going crazy. I'd rather be who I am than that. I have a shirt that I have, or not this one, but I'd rather be with God and have the world judge me than be with the world and have God judge me. You know, we look at everything the wrong way. What can we get? More money. Everything's about making more money, not about making more peaceful reality for our children. And what do we come up with? Selling children body parts? What do we do with children? Everything bad. We're growing spiritually? What planet do they live on? Mars, Jupiter, Venus? Supposedly, I'm not going to debate it, but we did have 7 people from Venus come here. One of them stayed in the White House. Well, that's the story. That's this, that. No, he was there. Alnek, whatever. She's from Venus. She came here and took a body when she was a child. But she has no powers. She almost died. She lectures, speaks. She worked with a religion that I was in for a long time. They created something called the God Will charts, which are almost close to some reality. They're not solid. I mean, they're twisted and everything else. But mankind's thinking can't make things right when it's not a spiritual being aware. What it perceives. You take 10 people, 100 people, put them in a circle, show them something, tell everybody to describe it. They all have different aspects of what they see from it or about it. There is one truth, but we turn it into 1,000 things that are not the truth. All right? The most important truth in this reality, planet Earth, in this dimension, is called the law of non-interference. It's exactly what it sounds like. Do you know anybody that abides by that law? I learned this from the medicine person that I studied with. Don't tell somebody to have a good day if they don't want to have a good day. Oh, have a good day. I'm in hell. I don't want to have a good day right now. Telling people what to do, even at a happy level. Have a good day, people. Really? Their partner just died. Oh, don't worry about it. No. Forgiveness is another word that we're programmed to believe and accept. I'll never accept the idea that George Washington and Jefferson were the biggest Native American killers on this planet in the United States. Jefferson came out with the word freedom, but the Native people weren't part of it. Guns were allowed because they were allowed to shoot Native people and get paid for it. They don't put that in the history book, do they? They got paid, just for a rough idea, $80 for a man's scalp, $60 for a woman's scalp, and $40 for a child's scalp. Really. I danced all over the United States. I met most of the elders in a lot of the areas I danced with and the medicine people. I sat down with Thomas Binyaka, who was the creator of the Hopi prophecy. And he knew he was going to die, but he also said, so is the world. Mankind's not going to become one with the Native people. That's never going to happen. And he said, if that doesn't happen, the world will become peaceful. It'll be destroyed. But something I learned, my partner's a Buddhist, Buddha's teachings and prophecy equal the same as the Native American prophecies. Exactly. Wording might be a little bit different, like the red hats for the Buddhists and the Native people, but it was also about the death of them. China destroyed Tibet a couple years ago, more than a couple, but they destroyed 250 temples, raped and killed a lot of the lamas, put 1,500 people in prison. Now, Hillary Clinton went there to try to get them to free those people. I don't know what happened with the rest of that, but that's the only part of the story that I do know. But people, we claim to be spiritual. As a country, we couldn't help Tibet. You know why? They had nothing to give us back. We don't help people unless they can give us something back. Oil, gold, uranium. If they can't, we don't help them. They had the cure for leprosy a long time ago. And there's small countries that they're still dying. Nobody's willing to pay to bring it there to cure them. And we call ourselves loving beings, compassionate, and all those words. How many people know truly what compassion means? Just giving doesn't mean you're compassionate. You're programmed to be something, and you accept that as being that. Sorry about that. Well, like I said, I'm going to do this until the end. I know people can't stay that long, but it's recorded, so you can come back anytime, listen to more of it if you want to. More than an hour is a long time. But I want to get through this because I don't want to keep doing it. Because I want to go into spiritual parts, which I'm doing with TJ every Tuesday. But a few things. Let's get into something that might be important to you. Why are you here? Why do you think you're here? To save mankind? To change the world? To what? It was changed how many times, and we never made it better. Look at, I want to bring this into it as well. Ancient aliens did pyramids for 15 years and can't explain a single thing about it. There's guys online I'm debating with, oh, it's important, it's this, that. No, it's not. It's useless technology. The one thing that is important, how they build. I don't know if you saw some of those I don't even know what the right words is. The cities that are engraved, every little detail of these giant cities are carved and built and outlaid with multiple designs and stuff like that. It would take thousands and thousands of years for a human to do it. So the idea, well, maybe it could be alien in technology and blah, blah, blah. Aliens did it. We don't levitate buildings and put them together. No. Levitation is a psychic ability. The only one I couldn't get down. Caroline Corey, claims he can levitate a piece of paper. You can levitate a piece of paper. You can levitate a car. You can levitate a car. You can levitate anything. But she's delusional. Now, I'm not going to get into that either. DNA, the medicine I studied with, showed us how to do energy work over a thing that you're drinking or eating to purify the energy around it, and it works. She worked with scientists like Caroline Corey. Of the energy. Energy is easy to change in water, food, and life, and things like that. But it doesn't help you become spiritual. So, why are you here? What are you going to do? What can you do for God? Think about it. I'll tell you the most simplest thing. Get out of hell. Too simple? Living in hell, living in a reality that's so screwed up, and you think you're living good? You're in a good life? Well, I made it through life. Making it through life, even with nothing happening, doesn't make you spiritual. If you can't find God, can't find your angels, can't find your past lives, and don't understand how to leave your body, you're nowhere. And that's all you need to learn in this lifetime, any lifetime, and you don't. Well, I'm going to do some ice, crack, drink, smoke, whatever. I can't be in this body right now, whatever. Or I got to have sex 10 times today and make everything go away. None of that has to do with becoming spiritual. Hinduism, which was all about sex, they came up Kundalini energy, Kama Sutra, sex, and all those words. It was about sex. Thinking sexual energy, when you're reaching to a high climax, is the most spiritual you can be. It's the ego that's attaining it. The mind has 5 senses, which is part of that. Soul doesn't. When soul steps out of the body, you can smash it, burn it, it doesn't feel it. So those kind of senses don't mean a thing to you. In your astral body, you got your mental body, causal body, etheric body, soul body, and the body's beyond that, which nobody talks about. They can't. They didn't even experience it. Well, I had a dream. Well, you can dream of a lot of things. The mind programs a lot of things. I've been dealing with people with past lives, not past lives, near-death experiences. I had 5. Everyone was better than the one before it, even though I was dead in the physical body for a little while. But what you learn is very little in most cases because the mind has to translate what you just experienced. Where are you? What are you looking at? What are you touching? What are you wearing? I got my suit on. Well, then obviously you weren't somewhere else. You don't go to the shoe store on the astral plane. All right, it gets complicated. And the more you go into it, the more it becomes a harder idea to accept. Because it's taken away from everything you're programmed to believe is important. I love my dog. He's laying right there. I just feel bad if I die tomorrow, that poor dog's going to suffer. Because I take him out twice a day. He sleeps with me half of the night and all these things. If I die, my partner's disabled. She can't do half of the things that he loves doing. So when we say we love somebody, how much do you love something? What are you willing to do for it? I mean, I know Obama's their partner got sick and they left. What can you do with that? You're with a person. If you truly love them, you stay with them. Period. There's no excuse to leave. And then the other thing is you don't cheat on them either. You don't walk behind their back. I have a pretty interesting situation with the person I live with and take care of. I mean, we were in a relationship, and now she became something different. It's a different kind of relationship. Doesn't mean I don't love her, but my vow is to be with her until I die. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if I get deathly sick, I can't be with her because I can't take care of her. And I'll make sure I don't stay here for that to happen. So, I know, in case you want to know, committing suicide is not the worst thing on the planet. You're doing it right now. Are you smoking? Are you drinking? You doing drugs? Taking medicine? All those things are killing you. It just takes longer to kill you. Take it from a person that knows. I did. I tried. It was only one of my 5 death experiences that I had. But I learned incredible things in that. Not saying that it's a good thing to do, but this world's not getting better. People that are suffering in pain, a lot of states you can't terminate yourself. Some states you can. Hawaii you can. All right? But if you're ever in pain that you can't get rid of day and night, you think about living here and not living here. If I was sticking a knife in your back 10 hours a day, you might not want to stay in that body anymore. And the government's doing everything to take away from the poor and sick people as far as medicines. All right? I want to get into that, but it's a horrible thing that government's doing about it. But when we look at presidents, the biggest publicity programming is Trump and Biden. Both of them are too old. Both of them have major problems. We need a younger person. I thought about Kennedy, but he has a problem talking and a lot of different things as well. So how about somebody younger? Well, they're too young. They don't know anything. Well, just because you have 10 marriages doesn't make you any smarter in a marriage because you still had 10 of them. So we need younger people for president. We need to take out anybody in Congress over 45 or 65. 65 is even too high. I'm 72. I mean, 71. I'll be 72 soon, but I wouldn't want to be in that place. My mind's too focused on things that I got to focus on. How do you focus on everything? You think one man has the right to tell a whole country what to do? Do they really believe they're that spiritual or smart, or religious, or whatever words you want to put together to who they are? Do they know the truth that what people really need? And which people are they talking about? The rich only. Now, getting back to Jefferson and George Washington. Okay, when we created a voting system, the electoral vote was created for one reason. So that the rich people can control who becomes president. They weren't going to allow anybody else to vote. They would have the right to pick the president. So Jefferson fought that, and that's why it's 50-50. I wouldn't even say 50-50, but people have the vote. I mean, Hillary got the people's vote, right? She didn't get in. But again, when we talk about electoral votes, it's the rich people's power. People, do you understand who you vote for, even why you're voting for who and what? All those things that affect us in every way. The government spent $44 billion to make a new spaceship, which will be released this year. But it will make the United States number one in the war industry. It has every weapon known to man on it. Tesla actually gave the United States government 50 deadly weapons. The most deadliest weapon that could ever brought here. Tesla didn't invent it in his brain. Oh, he's a genius. So was Einstein. No, they weren't. Einstein admitted to working with an alien race in his dreams. Tesla actually worked with aliens and actually created things. All right? But he didn't bring the good things out that we need. Aliens gave him what they wanted to give him. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to put energy on the one thing that they gave Tesla, who he gave it to the government, and then the reactions to that was called the Philadelphia experiment. Then it became the Montauk Project. Then it became the word opening up a vortex. All those words, people. The facts. Nobody knows much about it. Uh, Two people that I work with know much as I do. Don't talk about it either. The people that talk about it have very little clue. When the vortex was opened, all these negative entities and creatures that they're filming and all that came out of it. All right, it's like you opened up the zoo door and let all the animals out. Well, that's what happened when they did that. All right, time travel is real, and we do have two ships capable of going very close to the speed of light to get to Mars and back. All right. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Just because they don't put it publicly doesn't mean. But should they tell you that? You think Russia or China doesn't know exactly what's going on? You don't think they both have implants on both sides, figuring out what we're doing, what they're doing? But again, they both said they work with 27 alien races. And what benefit did it come for the human race? Our water is contaminated, our air is contaminated, our food is contaminated. So the dirt itself is lost its elements of purification and a lot of things it had. So where are we? Not moving forward in any way. Musk putting more rockets up in space. He wants to get to Mars and all that baloney. We can't take care of this planet, so yeah, these people want to leave it and put disease and sickness on some other place. Alien races are prone to different things. I remember there was a movie called The Triffid. There was like these kind of looked like tree creatures coming out. They couldn't do anything to him. But a little boy pulled out his water gun, he loaded it in the ocean and squirted him, and it started dissolving the tree. And that's how they figured out how to learn to kill these creatures. But we're all allergic to different things. I'm dealing with roaches. Do you know how hard it is to kill a roach? I don't think they put one thing out on the market that actually kills them. Raid has a poison that's really toxic. If you spray the bug directly, that bug will die within about a minute or two. All the other sprays guaranteed for 9 months and all this do zero. I just did this 2 days ago. Put two roaches in a bottle. I sprayed it, put them in there. They stayed crawling around in there for 2 days. I sprayed it again with the other stuff that I had. Still walking around. So I sprayed them directly and they died. But again, you're going to spray every roach in your house directly? No. Can you? No. But I'm not. I'm just saying our technology never fits the time frame. We're going to have a ship with a lot of weapons on it, which means there's going to be a war. China has a different level of space. China believes people will win the war. Well, I don't know if you know the difference between a proton bomb, neutron bomb, electron bomb, all right, hydrogen bomb. They're different. They do different things. You could destroy all the people in the city rather than destroy the city. You could destroy the whole city as well. You make a choice. I'll tell you this for a fact. I'm not going to tell you who, how, where, but I'll put my life on the line. They had a gun, go big. They could shoot it into a city, paralyze the city for 24 hours. But that's not good enough. They want to kill all those people. So, they outlawed chemical warfare, which is baloney, because they're using lasers in other countries right now. I mean, they split a car in half and they split a person in half with a laser. All right. They're selling the technology publicly as tree trimmers. Shoot the beam up, cut the top of the tree off, and things like that. Don't point the tree, don't point that laser down, you'll cut a car in half. Technology in other countries is so different than we are, and what they're allowing, you give something a name, it sounds good. Even in Hawaii, they just came out with a new mace spray. It's one shot, it's like $60, $70, it's a tube this big. You shoot it at a person in it. And they said, it's 10 times worse than pepper spray. Well, what's in it that makes it worse than pepper spray? More pepper? I doubt. We do things and lie. Everything you hear is good is a lie. Organic is another make-believe word. The dirt's contaminated. There's no dirt that has the minerals and stuff that it had. There's no food on this planet, no matter how you grow it, is healthy. Every fruit and vegetable you eat now has about 60% less than what it did 100 years ago. That should be a scary thing to you. You know, oh, this is how. You remember the old story, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Probably bring the doctor to you now if you ate an apple every day. Uh, you're programmed with lies about religion, about food, about life, about money, about spiritual. All right. Let me just see if that's the word I want to put in next. Oh, before I hit spiritual, I'm going to say death. Right now, the max is 125 years, and nobody can even prove they got to 119, 122, 123. All right. But there's a word that's around the planet that actually makes us die within that time frame. All right. And now they're trying to invent pills and vitamins and $7,000 for a pill that's going to make you live 20 years longer because you like living in hell. God created us, created sickness for a reason. Imagine you didn't get sick and stayed here forever. What a horrible life that would be. Oh no, I could have sex 10 trillion times. I could do this, I could. Again, nothing spiritual. How about seeing the face of God? It has what you would want to call a face, but it doesn't look like you and me. Uh, and how big is it? You have a clue? How big is God? How big is the universe? How big is the multiverse? Einstein said there can't be anything bigger than a certain size. We disproved that theory about 6 years ago. There's something out in space that's like 10 times bigger than anything that possibly could be any bigger than whatever. Tesla was wrong about a lot of things. The aliens were playing with his mind. He said we couldn't go backwards and forward in time, which we can do. Tesla proved it and created it. So, we claim they're still playing with Einstein's brain. Like they're going to get superpower energy, beams of truth from it. It wasn't his brain. It's where he got the knowledge from. And it wasn't New York City high school, grammar school, or college. Nobody goes to college and comes out and invents a laser beam. I went to school with Tesla. No, not Tesla, Lhasa. His father invented laser photography. I went to school with a lot of cool people. The same year that I was against him in science fair, the person that invented the moon probe, the first moon probe, was in my, we were all fighting to win first place. And at that time, there was a person that came in with a 6-foot robot, wireless, that did anything you told it to do. And I'm talking in 1969. People, technology that the government has will never be in your hands. They saying it's 25 or 50 years behind, which it is. The Delphi and the Aurora are ships that are way beyond the future of what we could even imagine. My friends that were taken out were proving lots of things. And they don't like people. But Stephen Greer is out there programming people to talk to aliens. I mentioned I knew SETI, people that ran the private SETI. The president was a female, vice president was a male. I was friends with him. And she said to me, well, we were visited. Somebody came in our office and they injected both of us and said we're going to die. She was on her way to go out to a reservation to see if they could help her. She came back and said, no, I'm sicker than I ever been. And she died a week later. The vice president died within 3 weeks. And there was no more SETI. That's when the movie came out. But people, we were talking to aliens. But there's nothing good coming out of that. I can go on, stories that are incredible, but you're not going to believe me, and I don't care. I'm not here to exaggerate truth to you. I'm only here to bring it out to you that it's there. You need to find it, need to see it. You're not going to believe in God. You're not going to believe in Bigfoot. You're not going to believe in anything until you see it. I'm not talking about in a dream or doing LSD. I'm talking when you see a child or somebody get taken or something like that. I was doing this when I was 22. Women that were losing their children. They had proof. They wouldn't go public about it. They were pregnant, almost 9 months pregnant. Had the sonogram done, whatever it was called at that time, of the baby. The next day it was gone. When she went to the hospital, they said, "Oh, you couldn't have been pregnant. There's no proof." Well, you took the sonogram. Oh, it must have been a mistake. Everything's always a mistake. When the 800 was shot down in New York City, they showed it on TV that night. They had the radar, and you see this beam blasted. Oh, there was an error in the machine, and they said that was fake, not real. You know, the truth is out there. And I'll get back to Area 51. Friend of mine, medicine person, his family, his grandfather, was with 3 other elders now, but they were young at the time. When Roswell happened, there were 3 ships that crashed, not one. They took the alien to a mountain, stayed with it for 9 months. A ship came down and took it away at the end of the 9 months. But a real story. He got a Nobel Prize for writing his theory on that in college. But again, they couldn't say, "Well, we can't let you have a degree because you're talking about something ridiculous." But he did. Robert Morningstar, Sky, whatever. One's New York City. He's a writer and book company. The other one's native elder. But they tried killing him. They reprogrammed him. And I went on a vision quest with him, and incredible things happened then. People, I'm not lying. I'm not here to make money off of anybody. I don't want to make money off of people. I want you to realize there's a truth that you need to see and experience. I wrote a book. It's free. Anybody want it? It says How to See a UFO. It's a field manual. It's a PDF file. I'll send it to you. If you want to see a UFO. But then you got to ask yourself, why do you want to see a UFO? To believe it? Or to be... Most people say, I want to go on a ship. I want to go on a ship. Like Musk. Why? Do you know what they do to people on a ship? I was doing past life regressions and missing time, which missing time. Oh, the missing time's still real. Guess what? It was real 60 years ago. Why would it stop now? They abduct people, and then they still try to make them forget what happened. If they remember, they reprogram them. Like, can I say his name? I will. Corey Goody. He claims they showed him the past, present, and future. They showed him that with a hologram. Holograms are predictable and creatable. I went to school with the son of the person that created laser photography. It's 3-dimensional images. All right? Again, people, do you want truth? Go to a UFO conference. What do you think you're going to go home with? An empty bank, an empty wallet? And what are you going to know about aliens for real? Oh, well, the government's blocking all this from us from knowing it. Why do you don't tell your children about rape and show them and things? Why do you tell them all these horrible things? You don't want them to know. It's not in their beneficial awareness to know it. But for protection, I put this book out for that reason. Women need to know what men are. Evil, programmed, egotistical. So when we talk about aliens, there's 9 races here. There's 5 different grays. The Nordics, all right, are tall, wear white clothes, blue eyes, and blonde hair. So people think that's Jesus when they come. They travel on ships with the reptilians, believe it or not. Now, the tall whites are a totally different race. I wouldn't say they're evil, but the United States government doesn't want to work with them, even though they have a base up near Area 54. All right, there's Area 51, 2, 3, and 4. All right. I mean, there might be 3, but there's different races that we have on bases. You think we're behind? The government's going to come out and say, "Look, you're useless people. You're not useful for us." You think we all need to hear that? I think you should realize that. And then when we hear these people on these, getting back to conferences, you go to a conference. I'm not going to say all their names, but a person from coast to coast. He knows nothing, never sat next to, saw, or was near any creature, entity, ship, or anything. Who cares what he says? But guess what? They get paid anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 to talk for 2 hours. Well, all the rest of the speakers make $600, $800, and blah blah blah. So all that money is going to these people to talk and tell you their story, and when you go home, what do you got? 10,000 more stories to talk about and think about. To why aliens are here. Aliens are not here to save you or help you. And when Stephen Greer goes, oh, we need to talk to them, well, talk to Satan, talk to demons. Why not? How do you know they're not demons? Just because you see it, what are you really seeing? All right. I learned hypnosis when I was 12. I was doing it by 14. All right. I had all my friends hypnotized with certain words and things at 14. But when I started working with people that were abducted and things and bringing them back, I learned so much more than most people. Now I had a debate with I'm not going to say her name. She's a friend, partially. Claims this and that about hypnosis. Another guy is on my Skype list. I can't get him off of it. Claims he did more hypnosis than anybody else on the planet. Claims he does. They don't do shit. Sorry, people. I'm sorry for that. Because they claim and say it, it's not really important to a person. The only thing a person needs to learn is about what spiritual means. Not what the government says or what the Pope, the priest, minister, rabbi says. They have no clue. They don't deal with a real God. And if they talk about Jesus, they don't know a real Jesus. Christ's energy. Anybody that says it should be smacked in the head. Sorry. Do you know Christ? Do you know what he did, who he was, what he was? He never said he was God. Ever. Never claimed to be. He was an ascending master, really. But that didn't make him God. All right? People, you want truth. You want to listen to stories by a priest standing there. Well, in the name of Jesus, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. All right? It's a Trinity. Everything's in the Trinity. Even magnetic fields, electronic fields, and gravitational fields are all in a Trinity. But there's a symbol of 3, which is a triangle. But you heard the theory of 9, 3, 6, 9? Well, that's all the theories of this reality. It doesn't go into the astral plane. And these people in scientist labs and playing with energy, like I said, I'm dealing with the Skinwalker Ranch. He doesn't even, none of them know what really went on before they bought it. Bigelow only had it for, 10 years. And so many bad things, he had to get away from it. All right. I had a friend, John Edmonds, the Stardust Ranch. I brought people there. They can film aliens, can film ships. It was right next to an alien base. I didn't even believe it because I thought it was a real army base because of all the things going up and down. But when he took me over to where it was just a mountain there. But he was killed as well. People, I'm telling you, all my friends, except Sargel, is alive, and I kind of believe he got to a point where he sold out. He always said to me, if they offer me enough money, I'll walk away from all this. He said it maybe 1,000 times. We were out there in the government property where Tesla used to work and all that. And he would say to me, oh, if they gave me enough money, I wouldn't deal with this anymore. But we did. 6 years. We went around the United States showing pictures of UFOs and things and all that. But then he came out with Tic Tacs. That's all they can come out with? There's thousands of videos coming out. Even if 10 of them are real, they're the ones you should be worried about because they're real. The triangle, which they tried to make it into everything except the spaceship, John Edmond, who is dead now, had the pictures of that coming over. He was right near there, and it came over early in the morning. Cattle mutilation, Linda Moulton Howe, 40 years and has no clue what's going down with it. You know, there's things you got to look at. Why? 40 years and she has no clue what's going on. I saw 3. Well, the one I wasn't really sure, but 2 I actually saw actually happened completely. All right. I had a friend that was inside crop circles being made. She traveled the world filming them. People, Don't listen to the liars, the storytellers, the people that are making money. The girl that did the crop circles, she would wait at an airport for an open space to get on a plane. She didn't have money, but that's what she did with a living. She made calendars. I don't know if she became famous after, because when I got out of the speaking in the UFO world, it was like I didn't care anymore. I care at a level now because people are following the wrong things. There are no good alien races. Well, the government's working with 27 of them. Yeah, but what are they working on? How to make the air pure, the water pure, which they could do right away if they wanted to? I saw a ship. We were on a mountain. We watched the ship come down, scoop water, had big front of the ship, scoop up water, and go right back out into space. So, they're here for things. If you want the 5 things, 4 things, whatever, water, blood, okay, not DNA, blood, then, all right, and body parts for food. All right, that's what they want, people. Believe it or not. I don't care if you do or not. That's the truth. And I said, I'm not a liar. And there's no reason for me to lie about that. And they don't talk about Phil Schneider. He went into a base. The government put this fleet of Marines in this base to go down and fight something. They didn't know what they were doing. One of them came out alive, Phil Schneider. And he was killed, and then they turned around and said he committed suicide. People, when they hear anybody in UFO world committing suicide, it's not suicide. Yes, you see an alien, your life changes. But you'd rather bring the truth out than commit suicide. Really. He was out lecturing for a couple months before they took him out. He was wrapped up in barbed wire. And he committed suicide. There was no blood there. People, the UFO people that are speaking don't know much. Skinwalker Ranch is still playing with energy things. I said, what is it, how many years now? I said, you didn't prove anything. You just proved that it's unprovable. That's what I just wrote to him yesterday. Oh, this doesn't supposed to do that. I mean, they're going to shoot, what, a couple of thousand ships, drones up, and they're all going to crash and things like that? Duh. Something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong, but what? They're on a native piece of property. And it's called the Skinwalker Ranch because the native people gave it that name because of the creatures that walk there. Right? Native people follow a lot of legends and stories as well, but a lot of bad things happen there. So I said, you're really bugging them, sending your rockets through their energy fields and playing with all these things, digging holes in their ground. There's a ship there. They know where it is. Whether the government's going to let them pull it out or not is a different story. I said, I guarantee they won't. But this is the 3rd year. Let's see how far they can go this year. People that expose the truth don't stay out there too long. That actually prove it. All right, Jesse Ventura proved what he showed and broke open to the world. He went to a FEMA camp. He went in the underground cities. He went to the White House. He was willing to do anything he could take to prove whether it was real or not. I wish he was president. We would know everything that's happening. For real. Not the stories, not the ideas, but the actual facts of what's going down. War is money for all countries. 5 people control everything that happens on this planet. The New World base is in the Ozarks. Jesse Ventura exposed it years ago. I think it's got an 8-foot wall around it. It's bigger than the White House. And it's over an entrance to one of the underground cities. Nobody talks about that. Why? Are you that stupid and programmed? You don't care what's really happening? Well, if you don't stick around and listen, I guess you don't care. I don't believe that. I don't want to hear that. Oh, who cares? Religion's important. To who? Who does it save? Well, I had a broken arm and it was healed right away. Okay, you're going to die in 10 years? Of course you are. What are you postponing? Why are people so afraid of death? Because they don't know what's beyond it. Most people don't. Most people don't want to. My boss, death. You say the word death and he would just start shaking. People are afraid to die. I had 5 death experiences and it was incredible every time. Why did I come back? Limited time. Like I said, I put How to See True Teachings of Jesus out and this book for women only. But after that, I might rewrite the book about Jesus because there's so much I didn't put in it because I was afraid people wouldn't even pick it up and read it or see it. So I'm going to make it hardcore before I leave. The truth, facts that I put my life on the line for. All right, people, I don't run, I don't change my name, I don't hide who I am. The government knows where I am. I have my computer swiped, whatever. I went to Denver Airport and filmed the flooring that said U.S. New World Order in the floor. They took it out and put a fountain over it. It's the home of the New World Order base. Why do you think there's no real roof over it? Everything's circular. The floor comes up, and they had so many different people design different rooms in there and everything else, so nobody could know what's really there. But the murals they would put up were disgusting, and they took them down. Now, the New World Order believes one thing, people. They have to tell you what they do before they do it. That's their belief, and they believe in that fact itself. You will hear it once. Listen doesn't mean it's not true. Remember that. I know everybody's bored death to death. I want to just say this too. Do aliens have psychic abilities? They have 2 or 3 of them. They can go through walls. Ships can go through the ground. Are they spiritual? No. Again, pyramids weren't built by people. They worked with them and helped and all that, but they didn't build them. Look at these carved buildings. Look at the detail in all these buildings in the city. How many people took to build them? And why did all those people disappear? We believe so many things because Satan runs the people's minds and creates ego. It wants to keep people here in hell. If we all left, it wouldn't have nobody to play with. But God says, look, until you can get out of there, you're not going to come closer to me. So where do you want to live? Where do you want to stay? You want to stay here for infinity? Go right ahead. Just kill a person every year or every lifetime. Don't find the truth. You can stay here. I can say, I told my cousin, you can come back over and over. He goes, you mean you go out and rape a girl and come back and do it again? That's the mentality of people. Men in general. People, I do this show for truth only. Not for money, not for fame, anything. If I wanted to be famous, I could lie to you. And I'd be famous in a night, a day, a week. I tell you what, if you drink this and say this prayer and do this, all right, you'll be healed no matter what. One person just has to do it and say, oh, well, I'm healed. And then it would be all over the internet. Everybody want to follow it. It's called mass programming. Subliminal suggestions, another word they use too. Well, people, I kept you here long enough. I got into a couple things that I think you should know, want to know, find out the truth about. Going to a UFO convention. If you want to have fun, yes, it's a cool place to listen to stories. All right? Stories are all right. I mean, people read stories that aren't real daily. But imagine reading something that's real and really important to you as soul. You're going to die. You'll probably die before everybody else in your family, unless you're a child or a young person. But you can see your mother and father die. You can see your grandfather die. You can see your uncle die. You can see everybody die. Die, right? Well, that's what happened. That's why we're here. But we're supposed to move forward and not come back here. I did it hundreds and hundreds of times. Out of those time frames, only 3 of them were important. Only 3. I'm not going to explain that now. I don't have time to. But realize you're here for a reason. Not to invent a miracle cure for leprosy, dementia, Parkinson's. This sickness is because we are sick. All right. People that get dementia don't deserve to have a reality that they're even dying, or even know who they are when they die. I hate to say that. You know the word crib death? Well, it was a big word when I was younger. Children dying 2 weeks after they're born, no reason why. Well, soul has karma when it comes into this world. Every child being born has its own karma set by where it's being born, under who. Many times the soul that has karma can't fit into the karma of the people that are here right now. So the baby dies. All right. See, abortion and all those words aren't real because two souls can't live in the body. I was doing Ghostbusters, I was a high priest. I did all those things. Souls go in your body, you got to step out of it. That's what possession's all about. All right, people. Questions? Want to know more? Want specific topics to talk about anytime? I'll do a show anytime, 7 days a week. Tommy Hawksblood, AOL.com. Please text me if you want to talk directly. I talk to people. I don't hide from that either. Skype me, make a friend, and I will talk to you. It's Hawksblood11. All right. So until next time, next Tuesday, I'll be doing a show with TJ on more spiritual, how to create a spiritual path and things like that. But till then, people, you heard it here. I'm not like all the UFO people out there telling stories. Government's doing what they feel is right for the rich people, and they are. They're not doing what's right for the poor people. So there's a big separation right there. But think about that. Think about what the Constitution was created for. Not to give you rights. You weren't given any rights from the Constitution. You believe you were. It was to take away your rights. Even after 9/11, Bush says you're either for us or you're a terrorist. So all these people attacking Biden should be put in jail. Now, even protesting, there's laws for protesting. We marched on the UN in New York City years ago. There was 2,000 of us, 50 Native people, and they got the permit and everything. We marched from Central Park up to the UN. They blocked all the streets off as we walked and everything. When we got to the UN, they surrounded us with machine guns. We weren't allowed to carry anything other than paper, and that was the law. So when you protest and you got a gun or anything on you, clubs and everything else under the sun, cocktail bombs and you name it, you're going against the law of this reality. And you deserve to be shot. Sorry. Even Jesus said, you live by the laws that are of your country. If they're wrong, you change them. You don't go against them and fight them because it doesn't work. The power will always be in power. Money will always be the leader. Till you realize where you are, hell isn't a great place to be. It's temporary, and you should realize that temporary disappears in time. And the older you get, the faster it goes. With that, till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. Hope you got something out of it. Please, if you got this link, send it to everybody you know. They'll probably watch it or not. That's their choice. But do me a favor. I'm trying to get the truth out, not hide it, take it away, or block it. Tell stories. No, I'm not here for any of that. I'm not here making money off my books just to give you more stories. No. All right. I keep saying goodbye, but this is it, people. Enjoy your day, enjoy your night, wherever you are. Peace, love, passion, whatever you need in your life. Don't stop, but don't stop for the lies.
raise my eyes to the wild blue yonder. They can't believe what I see, and it makes me wonder why it's falling down.